Hello and welcome to this fabulous double episode of Jonesing for Justice, the podcast, and Facebook Live. And today's topic is celebrity justice different? You may notice if you're watching live the difference in my background. It's a little wrinkly, but I just got this whole new backdrop set up and I haven't set up the lights yet, but I wanted to try it. So maybe I'll put something behind me when I edit this. We'll see. But at any rate, I am excited. So excited. I'm excited to talk about this because people are all talking about the news, and the news is all about celebrities. And they want to know, is celebrity justice different? It came up with Jussie Smollett yesterday when it turns out that all the charges against him were dropped for the MAGA attack that he claimed happened a few weeks back, that the police say never happened. And in fact, that he was the one who came up with it and made that himself. And also, of course, Robert Kraft, because just a few weeks ago, Patriots owner and all around in the Super Bowl all the time team leader, Robert Kraft, was arrested in a scandalous human trafficking situation where he was basically accused of hiring women for massages and doing a lot more than getting a massage. I don't know if I love this background. It makes everything look weird to me. But the long and short of it is this. Let's start with Robert Kraft. We're going to start with Robert Kraft because Robert Kraft was accused of basically going to what looked to be a strip mall and using women for massages and a happy ending. And I don't understand why, if you're a billionaire owner of a huge franchise like the Patriots, why you would need to go to a $59.95 strip mall and find yourself hookers, who, by the way, turned out not to be sex workers. They turned out to be women who were being human trafficked, meaning they were basically used as slaves for sex. But again, you're a billionaire and you find your women at a $59.95 strip mall. And I'm just saying this because it just seems to me that if you're a billionaire, lots of women will pretend to like you. I mean, there's one right now pretending to love her weird husband for the money. We won't say any names. But at any rate, I just don't understand how Robert Kraft got caught up in that. But we heard very shortly after that Robert Kraft was offered a deal, and that deal included that he'd have to make an admission that if he were to have gone to court for this, he would have been found convicted. Not even that he did it. It's like you would be convicted of this, and in lieu of the conviction, he was going to have to drop $10,000, and he was going to have to, do some service or whatever. Now, fast forward to yesterday when Jussie Smollett, who, as we all know, was accused of faking his own homophobic, racially charged attack in Chicago, where he was offered an expungement and a deal. Basically, his whole record was sealed. He did 16 hours community service, and he forfeited his bond of $10,000. $10,000, that's the magic number. So basically, what I'm telling everyone, it looks to me like if you have enough celebrity, that all you have to do is save $10,000 to get yourself out of mess. I mean, I would do it. I mean, I'm not planning to commit any crimes, but I would totally get that $10,000. So what it begs the question, well, not for me, but it begs the question for lots of people, is celebrity justice different? In fact, Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, had a very telling reaction because he apparently found out when all the rest of us did. No one had told him ahead of time that the charges against Mr. Smollett were being dropped. And he said it was a whitewashing of justice, which I found amusing because there was no white involved. I find it amusing because, we talk about justice a lot, and people say there's different justice for white people versus black or brown people. And Mr. Smollett is not, he ain't white. So, but he is rich. And maybe that is where the difference in justice is, right? When people have enough money, they can get what they want. But the thing about it is that every place, pretty much every state, has some sort of diversionary program, some sort of program for first-time offenders, people who have not been in trouble before, and we generally don't believe they're going to end up leading down the path of trouble in the future. Here in Pennsylvania, we have that program. We call it ARD, the Accelerated Rehabilitative Disposition. I love seeing the hearts and likes. Thank you. I would love to type some comments too, so I can feel like I'm not just talking to myself. I might pull the guys out of the office and say, come in here and talk with me and talk to me so I don't feel so alone. But the thing is that there are many, many programs for first-time offenders. So I was not surprised when Robert Kraft was offered a deal that would allow him to walk away by paying about $10,000 and doing some service. I wasn't surprised by that. No one said that he was the one in charge of the human trafficking ring. He was basically a junk. Which I think, do those still exist? Like, why do those still exist? And where are you in your life journey that you need to pay for sex? I mean, sex is everywhere. Like, it sells, it's free, it's around, it's like in everything we do. Like, we're trying to find ways not to have things be so sexualized around our kids, and yet these people are paying for sex. And again, at the strip mall. Why is Robert Kraft at the strip mall? But was that unusual? No, he was a first-time offender. He wasn't actually the one charged with the trafficking, so it's not that surprising that he was offered that deal. But what's interesting to me is that when we look at Jussie Smollett and these officials, including the mayor and the police chief, who basically has had clearly very serious feelings about this from the beginning. I mean, his first press conference was full of vitriol. He was very upset with Mr. Smollett. He talked about how dare a man of color to use the symbolism of a noose. Like, he was very upset. And he, again, was very upset yesterday. Like, they made these deals, and they did it behind doors, and they didn't tell us. No one had to tell him. See, this is the part that is kind of weird to me about this whole Jussie Smollett thing. All these people who are angry, these people are so angry, like it happened, like it was a personal affront to them, when they have no place in it. Like, this is literally how it works. The mayor has no place in criminal justice. Like, he doesn't get to decide who gets charged and not charged. The police, they investigate. They hand it over to the prosecutors. The prosecutors prosecute. The police have to act as witnesses. They may have to get some additional information, but the police don't get to tell the prosecutors you can or can't charge. Now, there is a very close working relationship in most cases, and sometimes a little too close, but the fact that this police chief is so upset, I mean, really seems that he took this case very, very personally. So when I look at Jussie Smollett, I mean, he did 16 hours community service. That's 2 full days, 8 hours, 16 hours. First-time offenders often get into diversionary programs, and 16 hours community service for nonviolent offenses is not unusual. If he had been asked to do up to 64, I'd say that's not unusual either. Anywhere from 2 to 8 days, not unusual. That makes sense. But anything beyond that, not so much. And then, forfeiting his $10,000 bond, they got the money. I mean, maybe that covers a lot of the investigative work, overtime or whatever. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is, most people who are going through first-time offense programs, most of them don't spend $10,000. They don't. It doesn't cost that much. Now, it's expensive. I tell people you be prepared with a couple $1,000s, but that's like $2,500. It is not $10,000 just to be in one of these programs. And also, shout out to the lawyer. Like, his sister girl did a great job. She's amazing. Yay. But the fact that so many people are upset, like, they wanted to make an example of this man. And I get that people are upset about it, but at the end of the day, this is the job of the prosecutor, to take first-time offenders and keep them out of the system if they can, give them some consequences, and make it end. So I guess what I'm saying is, for all of you who think that celebrity justice is different, in these cases, it's not really different. We're talking about 2 individuals who've never been in trouble before, have never shown the propensity to commit crimes, don't have any indication based on the current crime that they would commit ongoing crimes necessarily. And these are offenses that were non-violent in the traditional sense, whereas no one was harmed physically. I do have an issue with, obviously, sex trafficking, human trafficking being called non-violent, but he was not the trafficker, so I understand why he may be in a different position. So actually, the way that celebrity justice is different for both of these people is the fact that you even know about the cases. So let's talk about that. Robert Kraft was arrested along with a ton of other people, and he's the only one whose name that we know. That's right. We don't know any of those other men who were sneaking off to the strip mall and having sex with these women who are being sex trafficked. None of them. But we know Robert Kraft's name. We don't have a bunch of other men fighting to not have the videos released, but we know Robert Kraft is fighting to not have the videos released. So actually, his celebrity is harming him. His celebrity means that of all the people who got caught up in the same exact thing, he is the only one whose name, reputation, and business interests and marriage are on the line because of it. Other people can go through this and go through the process pretty much anonymously like any other criminal defendant. So in this way, celebrity is harming, not helping him. Jussie Smollett the same way. Jussie Smollett had been attacked in Chicago, or claimed to have been attacked in Chicago. We may or may not have heard about it. This is not the only time that someone had a racist, homophobic attack against them. We may have never heard about the attack if it were not Jussie Smollett. By the same token, we may have never heard that it was a hoax had it not been Jussie Smollett. That person may have been quietly arrested and they would have gone about their business. They certainly wouldn't have needed to put a 16-count indictment in front of a grand jury. They would have charged him anyway with the disorderly conduct that he was charged with and gone about his business. 16 counts for one incident, it's overkill. And, one of the lawyers was talking about it today on Good Morning America, and I think she was right. Like, this is not normal. You don't charge people 16 counts for one incident, the same thing. There were the 16 different, there were 5 officers in the room, so it's 1 count for every officer who heard him lie. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So in this case, celebrity did not help him. In fact, celebrity made him more of a target than it would be for a regular person in this sort of situation. But what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that celebrity helped or hurt Jussie Smollett? Do you think celebrity helped or hurt it Robert Kraft? I don't know. Hurt it. Did I say hurt it? Hurt? It should be hurt. Hurt it, hurt, the English one, the one that's right. Do you think it helped or it hurt? Those are the kind of things that really could take a lot to talk about and think about, because people are reacting to it based on what they believe they know, and what they know is often nothing. People know nothing. People don't even know that there are programs out there for first-time offenders where they actually are basically what I always tell my clients, rich people justice. I say to my clients, listen, it's going to cost you some money. It's going to cost you some time. You're going to do community service. You're going to pay these fines. You're going to pay these fees, but you're going to get justice like the rich people, where at the end of the day, you have no record. You walk away from it. Those are normal programs for first-time offenders. Just like anyone who gets a first-time DUI, it's usually offered one of those programs. As long as you're not a regular drunk driver and you're going to stop right now, this is the end for you. So rich people's justice, maybe. Celebrity justice, well, maybe more like celebrity embarrassment. I don't know. But at any rate, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can certainly drop me a line and tell me what you think about it sometime. But as for today, I think my conclusion is that these celebrities did not get celebrity justice. They got regular rich people justice, which means you pay your way out of situations, which, by the way, is available to other people who cannot pay. It's just not as easy because they need the money. And the other thing is they got celebrity mistreatment, in the sense that because they're celebrities, more people know about their dirty deeds or possible dirty deeds. So again, I'm Jackie Jones of Jones & Associates Law, and until next time, you keep jonesing for justice. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.